Hey everybody, welcome back to Average at Best. As always, I'm Rob.
And I'm Josh, and today we are bringing you the first ever episode of This Week in Bowling. This is going to be kind of a weekly podcast style episode type content that we're going to bring to you hopefully every week to just basically inform you guys about any news, any information that you might want to know about the sport of bowling and the stuff that's happening.
Yeah, so please leave any comments or questions down below. We're going to try to be going through as many comments and questions as we can in every single episode we do of this series. So please, your feedback is greatly appreciated. Now let's go ahead and just get into some of our talking points today. So we're going to go ahead and just start off with some of the latest ball releases. Specifically, we're going to talk about Motive first, which is the Forge Ember, which has just released last week. It's a hybrid symmetric bowling ball in that Forge lineup. I know that you've been really wanting to get this ball.
I have looked at this ball and I said, this ball looks so clean, so nice. It's a much stronger ball than most of the other stuff that Motive's put out in recent time. So it's really just kind of been hyped as this down lane reaction beast kind of thing. And it looks really cool with the black and the red and all these different colors coming in. So I'm personally excited to see if I can get a hold of one of them. Another ball that's coming out in a couple of weeks, September 23rd, it'll be the Storm Supernova. This ball is a solid cover stock, asymmetric core. And people are seeming to be really excited about this one too.
Oh yeah, I mean, every ball that Storm comes out with, people get super excited about, and this is no exception. They had Jillian Martin and Spencer Robarge in the Storm HQ throwing it for their YouTube channel. So Storm is just chugging along, man. They haven't let the stuff that happened earlier this year affect them, you know?
The next ball we're going to talk about is from Rotogrip. It is the Rst X3. It is a hybrid and also an asymmetric as well. It was already released. What was it, about a week ago?
A week or two ago, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of the staffers, specifically on the PBA50 and the regional tour, have been throwing this ball a lot. If you watch Darren Tang's videos, he made a review of it. He really loves the RSTX lineup. Yeah, yet another Storm.
Rotogrip
it's
bowling
a
ball,
Rotogrip release, but they're owned by Storm, so yet another really solid release there by Storm. Kind of the last one we're going to talk about is Ebonite's release. This is the One Remix. This is releasing September 23rd, which is the same day that the Supernova releases for Storm.
Yep.
This is a solid asymmetric bowling ball from Ebonite, so it's going to be your stronger bowling ball that's going to be able to handle that oil. Yeah, so that's kind of just an update on the equipment pieces. Also, just a little side note, talking about equipment, I actually have some new shoes coming in from Dexter. They should be coming in about a month. They have been on back order for a long time.
Yeah, for about 3 months now?
I ordered them back in June.
So about 3 months now.
By the time they ship, it will have been 4 months. I will be doing an opening and review, or we will, on the channel.
We both will, but yeah, it'll be basically worn by him since they're his shoes.
But yeah, so I'm really excited. And Dexter, if you're watching this and looking to sponsor anybody, well, Josh is in the market for some new shoes. So
I've had my same shoes for about 5 years. I just changed the sole of it. I wore the same sole for 4 years, and somehow it held up. But yeah, they're getting old. They're getting to the point of retirement. Yeah, I would say.
You know where to contact us, Dexter.
So the next topic we are going to be moving into is kind of the PBA50 tour so far. The PBA50 tour, as some of you guys know, has been rolling through its usual tournaments that it does every year in the summertime. Specifically, Chris Barnes and Parker Bone are kind of the two guys to really talk about, because they've been at the top most of this year in pretty much every tournament that they've bowled in.
They've been dominant this year.
They have been real dominant. Chris Barnes has won back-to-back PBA 50 tournaments, winning at the David Smalls Championship Lanes Open and the Jack 60 Open, where he ran the stepladder to win. He's won a total of $49,000 this season in the PBA 50.
Yeah, and Chris Barnes is also leading the PBA 50 in average with a 229.31 average, which is that's really solid, considering I believe he's bowled every single event that the PBA 50 has held this year. And although Chris Barnes' stats are impressive by first glance, Parker Bone has had a much better performance when it comes to actually the stepladder finals. Parker has won the most tournaments on the PBA 50 tour with 4 wins this season. That's netting him $62,000 on the PBA 50 tour. That's really good.
It's a lot of money for just the PBA 50 tour. I mean, you think about how much money is, put on the regular tour, but then to see that this much money is being put in the PBA 50 tour, it's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, and nothing sums up the PBA 50 season like the PBA 50 Cup, which happened just about a month ago, where Parker Bone played Chris Barnes in the final match and beat him 258 to 226 to take home the PBA 50 Cup championship title.
Yeah.
So the 2 best bowlers on the PBA 50 tour battled it out, and the one who's having the better year won outright in that.
Yeah.
So really interesting to see how they end up finishing their season. Yeah, just a really interesting PBA 50 season thus far.
Yeah, and then, what a way to end the PBA 50 tour as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
with arguably the player having the best season, winning over Chris Barnes. And, Barnes won back-to-back there at the last 2 tournaments. So, he had a good run to try to catch Parker Bone there at the end. But nonetheless, great way to end off the PBA 50 tour. So,
So we're going to move into the next topic here. I know this was stuff that all happened over the summer, and it's not really this week in bowling, but we thought we would at least, catch you guys up a little bit with what's been going on in the summer as of up until now. The summer has shown us the 2022 PBA Super Regional Tour, which was 4 tournaments. 1 taking place in July and 3 taking place in August. Starting off, we had the PBA Lubbock Sports Shootout on July 24th, 2022. There was no stepladder finals, but they bowled qualifying and then went into a final position round.
Ildemaro Ruiz, he had arguably one of the best performances at this tournament of the entire summer. He was nearly 200 pins back from Anthony Simonson with 3 games left to go. And in the final game, he was 50 pins back of Simonson and managed to win against Simonson straight up. So he came back 200 pins in 3 games to win the PBA Lubbock Sports Shootout. Probably one of the more impressive single tournament moments there.
I would have to agree, because to come back from 200 pins in any tournament is crazy.
Yeah. Let alone
to do it in like a super regional situation, you got some of the best guys up there. Anthony Simonson's a guy who constantly wins on the PBA tour, and for Ruiz to come from 200 pins back and somehow bowl out of his mind and win the regional, it's a crazy thing to happen.
Yeah, so we'll be moving on to the next regional now, which is the PBA Jonesboro Super Southwest Open that occurred on August 7th. And Matt Russo was the star of this tournament. Really, Matt led the field after game 1 and never let go of being number 1 the entire tournament. He ended up being the number 1 seed for the stepladder finals, and he played EJ Tackett in the final match, and Matt beat him straight up. I think it was maybe 260 to 210 or 240 to 2.
It was not really a close match, we'll say, because Matt Russo is one of my one of my favorite up and coming bowlers, and he's really cool to look. He's really cool to watch. He's really cool to see how he does in these high intensity situations, and he was very, very dominant in this tournament, and he kind of really deserved to win, honestly, with how much of the how much lead he had over everybody. The next tournament we're going to talk about is the PBA Bowler Store Classic that happened on August 14th of 2022, and the 2 guys that really kind of stood out in the tournament as kind of the main competitors were Sam Cooley and Graham Faw. They were kind of trading the lead back and forth, and ultimately they met in the final match, and Graham Faw was actually able to double in the 10th to beat Sam Cooley outright, and ended up taking the tournament win for the Bowler Store Classic, and it was really nice to, see two competitors that don't really get a lot of TV time, kind of battling it out.
Yeah, I mean, ever since Graham Faw won, I believe, the Players' Championship back in 2015, we haven't really seen him on the PBA Tour. But if you look at his regional stats, he wins a lot regionally. So it's
he doesn't really make too much of a name for himself in the PBA, like, main tour type thing. But I mean, for the regionals, he's very dominant. He's usually in the stepladder finals on a good majority of the tournaments he bowls in. And the final event of the PBA Super Regional Tour, it would be the PBA Hampton Rhodes Open, which happened August 21st, which was just about 2 weeks ago. Tim Foy actually led this tournament after qualifying and would play Eric Jones in the title match.
Yeah, and Eric Jones, I'm sure if you watched the PBA Junior Finals, it was last year's PBA Junior Finals, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Eric Jones did play in that. He did lose that match, but he bowled very well. And I have a feeling similar to Matt. He's a lefty two-hander. I feel like eventually we are going to see him make a show at some point in the next few years.
Yeah.
Very good player. Anyways, Tim Foy went on to defeat Eric Jones convincingly as he shot 266 to Eric Jones's 232. So
very commanding victory right there.
A pretty dominant win there for Tim Foy. So yeah, just kind of wrapping things up. You heard EJ Tackett's name in there once. And despite not winning any of the Super Regionals, EJ Tackett had one of the best performances of all players over the summer. EJ made 2 of the 4 stepladder finals, and he cashed in 3 of the 4 tournaments. Out of all players in the field, EJ kind of stood out as just week in and week out he was making the finals and bowling good. And
he was kind of that guy who, whenever one of these tournaments came on, you knew that EJ Tackett was at least going to make a run at the stepladder finals. Whether or not he wins the tournament, you knew at least he was going to be somewhere around the stepladder finals, like the top 5.
Despite not hearing his name yet, Sean Maldonado was another top performer amongst the Super Regionals. Sean cashed in every single tournament he bowled and averaged an 11th place finish throughout all 4 tournaments. That's really impressive. He cashed in all of them. Similar to EJ, although he didn't make any of the stepladder finals, Sean walked away with some money in his pockets and a respectable showing week in and week out. So really good for him. He's been dealing with some injuries. So
he just changed from putting his thumb in the ball to not putting his thumb in the ball anymore.
Yeah,
so
had one of his best years ever since he's made that change.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, he's still adjusting to it. I know firsthand how hard it is to adjust to something as, as drastic as that. So, I mean, the fact that he's making a good run at all these tournaments is really good sign for, the years to come to see what he can do next.
Yeah, so anyways, that kind of wraps up everything we wanted to talk about for this week. If you made it to the end of this video, please go down and comment any questions, just what you thought of this video format. We would greatly appreciate hearing your feedback, and again, we'll try to read some of those comments and questions and answer any of those questions during each week's episode. So.
Yeah, this is just kind of a thing we wanted to kind of try out because we have done some news type stuff in the past, and we thought, it'd be a great opportunity as the bowling season starts to get underway. We can kind of just let you guys know about some of the news that would be coming up. So any type of information that you guys want to give out to us, any comments that you want to have featured in the next week's video, anything you guys have concerns about, just leave them in the comments. We try to answer pretty much any comments that you guys put out because, that's what we like to do.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you all for watching. We greatly appreciate it. We surpassed 1,700 subscribers.
Just the other day.
And I'm sure we'll be closing in on 2,000 hopefully before the year ends. So thank you guys so much for making all this happen. Greatly appreciate it. So, yeah.
We'll see you guys next time.
Peace out.
Boom!